He's just being announced now. Let's listen in.
So we're getting hail to the chief as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, please, sir. Thank you. This is without question the latest news conference I've ever had.
We love you. We love you.
I want to thank the American people for their tremendous support. Millions and millions of people voted for us tonight. And a very sad group of people is trying to disenfranchise that group of people. And we won't stand for it. We will not stand for it. I want to thank the First Lady, my entire family, and Vice President Pence, Mrs. Pence, for being with us all through this. And we were getting ready for a big celebration. We were winning everything, and all of a sudden it was just called off. Phenomenal. The results. And we are getting ready. I mean, literally, we were just all set to get outside and just celebrate something that was so beautiful, so good. Such a vote, such a success. The citizens of this country have come out in record numbers. This is a record. There's never been anything like it. To support our incredible movement, we won states that we weren't expected to win. Florida, we didn't win it. We won it by a lot. And we won the great state of Ohio. We won Texas. We won Texas. We won Texas by 700,000 votes, and they don't even include it in the tabulations. It's also clear that we have won Georgia. We're up by 2.5% or 117,000 votes with only 7% left. They're never going to catch us. They can't catch us. Likewise, we've clearly won North Carolina, where we're up 1.4%, or 77,000 votes with only approximately 5% left. They can't catch us. We also, if you look and you see, Arizona, we have a lot of life in that. And somebody declared that it was a victory for, and maybe it will be. I mean, that's possible. But certainly there were a lot of votes out there that we could get, because we're now just coming into what they call Trump territory. I don't know what you call it, but these were friendly Trump voters. And that could be overturned. The gentleman that called it, I watched tonight, he said, well, we think it's fairly unlikely that he could catch. Well, fairly unlikely. And we don't even need it. We don't need that. That was just a state that if we would have gotten it, it would have been nice, Arizona. But there's a possibility, maybe even a good possibility. In fact, since I saw that originally, it's been changed and the numbers have substantially come down just in a small amount of votes. So we want that obviously to stay in play. But most importantly, we're winning Pennsylvania by a tremendous amount of votes. We're up 600. Think of this. Think of this. Think of this. We're up 690,000 votes in Pennsylvania. 690,000. These aren't even close. It's not like, oh, it's close. With 64% of the vote in, it's going to be almost impossible to catch. And we're coming into good Pennsylvania areas where they happen to like your president. I mean, it's like very good. So we'll probably expand that. We're winning Michigan, but I'll tell you, I looked at the numbers. I said, whoa. I said, wow, that's a lot. By almost 300,000 votes, and 65% of the vote is in. And we're winning Wisconsin, so we're winning. We don't need all of them. We need, because when you add Texas in, which wasn't added, I spoke with the really wonderful governor of Texas just a little while ago, and Greg Abbott, he said, congratulations. He called me to congratulate me on winning Texas. I mean, we won Texas. I don't think they finished quite the tabulation, but there's no way. And it was almost complete, but he congratulated me. Then he said, by the way, what's going on? I've never seen anything like this. Can I tell you what? Nobody has. So we won by 107,000 votes with 81% of the vote. That's Michigan. So when you take those three states in particular, and you take all of the others, I mean, we have so many, we had such a big night. You just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won them by. And all of a sudden, it's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states, and all of a sudden, I said, what happened to the election? It's off. And we have all these announcers saying, what happened? And then they said, oh, because you know what happened? They knew they couldn't win, so they said, let's go to court. And did I predict this, Newt? Did I say this? I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court. So Florida was a tremendous victory, 377,000. Texas, as we said. Ohio, think of this. Ohio, a tremendous state, a big state. I love Ohio. We won by 8.1%, 461,000. Think of it. Almost 500,000 votes. North Carolina, big victory with North Carolina. And so we won there. We lead by 76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. We did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment, and we will win this, and we, as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it. So I just want to thank you, and I want to thank all of our support. I want to thank all of the people that worked with us, and Mr. Vice President, say a few words, please. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to join you in thanking more than 60 million Americans who have already cast their vote for 4 more years for President Donald Trump in the White House. And while the votes continue to be counted, we're going to remain vigilant, as the President said. The right to vote has been at the center of our democracy since the founding of this nation, and we're going to protect the integrity of the vote. But I really believe with all of my heart, with the extraordinary margins, Mr. President, that you've inspired in the states that you just described, and the way that you launched this movement across the country to make America great again, I truly do believe, as you do, that we are on the road to victory and we will make America great again. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, everybody.
So there we have President Trump coming out and speaking to supporters in the room, speaking to the American public, speaking to the world, and saying, frankly, we did win this election. That is not true. The president has not been declared the winner of this election, but he says that a great fraud has been committed on the American public, and now that he will go to the United States Supreme Court. What we were speaking about earlier, what Ron Christie, a former advisor to George W. Bush, was laying out as a fear of his, Andrew, seems to be what we have heard from the president, that he is claiming victory while legitimate votes are still being counted. The president says he is the winner of the election. He ran through a list of states that he says he has won that have not yet been called. The fact that he says he is the winner of the election does not make him the winner of the election. There are votes still being counted in the country.
It was the most remarkable statement by an incumbent president on an election night in America's history. Normally, in fact, always, presidents don't claim victory until the results are in. And if they've lost, they concede. Quite often, they concede even when all the results are not in, but it's clear that they have lost. It is not clear that President Trump has lost, but it's not clear that President Trump has won either. And yet he says they've definitely won in Georgia and in North Carolina. Arizona is still in contention. They're going to win Pennsylvania. And it was interesting that he said, we did win. This is a fraud on the American people. People are trying to disenfranchise us, as the counting is still going on and remains incomplete. And then he added the crucial words, he wanted the voting to stop. And by that, what he means is he wants the mail-ins and the earlier votes to stop being counted, and essentially for the election to be judged on those who voted on the day, because he believes that is much more Republican than Democrat. So, and he said they were ready for a big celebration, Cathy, and we had Hail to the Chief as he came in.
Which is the music that always welcomes the president when he comes into the room.
Yeah, but this was like a victory. This was victory music. This was to set the signal that this was victory. This was a victory celebration. That's what he was trying to get across.
They were absolutely, the whole thing was designed to say we were planning a victory, it was stolen from us, we were ready to go, and we will take it to the Supreme Court. That Supreme Court, which is now 6 conservative justices and 3 Democratic-leaning justices. And if it ends up there, which is where Donald Trump signaled tonight, he told us tonight that this is where he wants this to end up. He can't take it, of course, directly to the Supreme Court. It would have to go through other routes. We'd have to have the voting. The votes are still being counted in Wisconsin, Michigan and Pennsylvania. In Georgia, we spoke to a reporter just now in Georgia. The vote counters have yet to come back to count several hundreds of thousands of votes that are still needing to be counted. These are not ballots, to be clear, that were cast after the polls were shut. They are ballots that have been mailed in, which is a legitimate form of voting. They are ballots that were cast early before the election. And now it's going to be very interesting to see how the Democrats respond to this, the president coming out so defiantly saying, frankly, we did win this election. But the onus is on everybody who is reporting on this to make it clear that the president has not yet won this election. He may do so, but Donald Trump has not yet won this election. Joe Biden has not yet won this election. Neither of them can declare that. Neither of them can claim that, because the votes are still being counted.
But one has declared it.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.